Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder with another story for you. This one is titled, Am I the Astronaut Because I Don't Emotionally Support My Wife's Obsession with Taylor Swift? I did not write this. Disclaimer. My wife is fully obsessed with Taylor Swift. For the last year plus, that's all she listens to. Every Taylor Swift album on one continuous loop when she's working out or even just walking around the house doing stuff. Spent $2,000 to go see her recently at the Eras Tour. Probably spent another $200 on merch. That's cute. I'm guessing it was way more than that. She filmed the show on her phone and will regularly put it on the TV and just watch for hours. So she's definitely going to see the movie that's coming out. We'll also watch the live streams of her performances on TikTok or whatever streaming platform those are on. Is now going to see the concert movie. I mean, it has been nonstop Taylor Swift in our house for a long time now. She continually refers to the live concert as the best experience of my life. She says Taylor Swift is a lifestyle. I personally don't really get it. I've never been obsessed with anything to that point. I love soccer and would love to go watch Messi play, but I can't bring myself to spend $900 for a ticket to his upcoming match. It's just too much. Is that how much soccer tickets are? Wow. I'm also really passionate about things that my wife has no interest in, but I'm also not looking for her emotional support with those. Those are just things that are important to me and will remain important to me regardless. I have for sure made comments to my wife implying that this whole Taylor Swift thing is getting out of hand. I was also not super stoked that she was spending that much on one ticket to go see one concert, but ultimately it's what she really wanted and we had the money, so I said yes. And I'm happy that she got to go. Recently, she blew up on me about how I don't support her as much as she thinks I should with her Taylor Swift lifestyle. She cites comments I make implying it's a cult and the only one winning here is Taylor Swift raking in the dough, and maybe it's time to focus on other things. She wants me to stop making comments like that and stop rolling my eyes and be supportive of her and her interests. But from my perspective, it's really taking over her life, and that just can't be healthy to obsess over something like that. People need balance. I also thought one of the benefits of marriage was to have someone tell you this kind of stuff and it shouldn't be an argument. Where'd you get that idea? I never heard that. So, am I the astronaut? If so, what can I do about this situation to make things right?
Oh, dear Lord.
I imagine there are a lot of people in this position. I've never seen anything like it. Let me start there. I have never seen anything like the level of fandom that Taylor Swift has been able to initiate or activate or unlock in people. It is amazing. It is unlike anything I think we'll see in our lifetime again. I think this is beyond Michael Jackson. This is beyond the Beatles. This is truly incredible how she's been able to build this fan base and be such an incredible artist, but brilliant business person at the same time. Everything has meaning behind it. Everything is super well thought out. As you start looking at things and dissecting them or hearing people talk about them, it's just wild how well everything is thought out. So I went to the Reputation tour with Candy Thunder and the girls. I did not go to the Eras tour. I was the driver up there. Tony Spark went in my place. I think you might have heard that story. So I know that there's a lot of love for Taylor Swift in our group of people. I have a ton of respect for her. In this situation, putting myself in OP's shoes here, the first thought that I have is reverse the roles. And if OP was, I'm not going to say obsessed, because I think obsessed casts a negative light over this. If OP was a super fan of something, if his wife was shitting on that thing, whatever it was, actively, he wouldn't appreciate that. It would be looked at from his perspective as, well, she doesn't respect me enough to take the time to understand and respect the thing that I really, really care about here. Now, I agree that you can't let something run your life, right? You can't just focus on this thing 24/7. If this was a true obsession that was to the detriment of everything else in her life, like she was shirking giving time to her relationship, shirking duties at work and home, and like if it was ruining her life, that would be one thing, and I would say that's an obsession. If she's just a super fan and she just loves all things Taylor Swift, she's one of the millions of people in the world who are just like that. And I think you have to accept that it's something that you're not going to fully understand, but you don't have to. You don't have to be a super fan of the same things that your spouse is a super fan of. I think you do have to respect it. And I think him rolling his eyes and making comments that it's a cult and doing these things, taking these little jabs, comes across to her as a disrespectful thing because she probably feels like he's not taking the time to try to understand it or at least respect it. He doesn't have to like it. He doesn't have to love it. He doesn't have to share in this. But it's the digs. It's the digs and the eye rolls and making the sly comments that I think that's the part that is the problem here. And it bugs her. Obviously it bugs her. It would bug any super fan. Take Taylor Swift out of the equation here. It's anything. Say that she got into LARPing, right? Say that she got into table games. Say that she got into playing freaking Call of Duty. Whatever it is, if that became her thing, you would want your spouse to support something that you really care about. You would. Candy Thunder and I, for instance, let's say that I got more serious about learning piano, which I do casually right now. I'm casually learning piano. If I got really serious about it and wanted to make a real run at it and started devoting more time to it and started talking about it more and becoming more of a super fan of that kind of thing, she's not going to get it. She doesn't have to get it, but she wouldn't shit on it. She wouldn't start making comments that made me feel like I was wasting my time and that she looked down on me. It is the I'm looking down on you perspective where he's screwing up here. And I think that is the problem here. It doesn't matter what he thinks about it. As long as it's not running her life into the ground, as long as she's not neglecting other things in her life, what harm is this doing, dude? You don't understand it, and that's fine. You don't have to. But if it's not causing harm, the least you can do is respect her enough to let her enjoy her thing. It could be anything. Let's say OP here really gets into comic books or something. She's not going to understand that either, but she's probably not going to roll her eyes or make comments about it that make him feel belittled. Belittling your partner to the point where they bring it up and say, hey, why are you always shitting on this? I don't feel good about that. That's a problem. This comment really got me. I also thought that one of the benefits of marriage was to have someone tell you this kind of stuff and it shouldn't be an argument. You must have received a different brochure than I did, sir. That's not in the marketing literature for marriage at all. Now, having someone as a partner that will speak up and tell you things that you aren't seeing, yes, that is one of the supposed benefits here, to have someone say, hey, you're probably not seeing this, but here's what I'm seeing. But there's a healthy way to do that, and there's a respectful way to do that, and it's not rolling your eyes and making comments about it being a cult. It is, if it got to a point where it was causing a detriment in life, saying, hey, you're probably not seeing this because you're too close to it and you're knee deep in it, but here's what I'm seeing. That's what you're talking about here. But this whole it shouldn't be an argument thing, ha 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 ha. No. Nowhere is this written that you can say whatever you want and it shouldn't be an argument. If anything, it's the reverse. It's say things that shouldn't cause arguments, and it probably will, because that's marriage and moods are dependent there, and that's just the way it is, man. So I don't know. My general take right now is, yeah, OP is the asshole right now for having this stance that they're allowed to do this and she shouldn't be taking offense. He's judging something that she cares about. That's the bottom line. Not taking the time to try to understand it or even just at a baseline respect it. He's just shitting on it. And yes, that is an asshole move. My stance on this is, so whenever I went through getting the tickets for the Eras tour, it was a panic moment because they were disappearing left and right? So I got better ones than I probably normally would have got because they were disappearing, and felt sick for a week about the amount of money that I had just spent on tickets. I was like, oh my God. But knowing that there was a really good possibility that I wouldn't even be going to this, it didn't matter. It was worth it to be able to give my wife and my daughters this experience. This experience is hard to put a price tag on because it is a once in a lifetime thing for them, unless they go to multiple ones. And that's why the movie thing is going to go so well. That's why it's so successful. And it's why she's able to do the things that she does, because she creates an experience, and that's hard to put a price tag on. But yeah, he's probably looking at the money of this. That's certainly an element to it. Also, he's probably a little bit butthurt because Taylor Swift is getting more attention than he is right now. He may not even realize that's part of the issue here. He may not even be self-aware enough to be able to say, yeah, you know what? I am a little jealous of this. It's like they got a new puppy and the puppy gets all the attention. And that, if he does come to the conclusion that that's where he's at, that is a detriment to the relationship that he's got to speak up about, but he would have to communicate that. He's got to be able to communicate his feelings and talk about how and why this is really bugging him. Otherwise, he doesn't have shit to say. Let's go ahead and see where we need to be on the scale here. Ascon 4 is could have done that differently. 3 is you should have done that differently. 2 is you definitely shouldn't have done that. And 1 is you're a terrible human being. I don't think he's a terrible human being for this. But the question is, am I the Ascon because I don't emotionally support my wife's obsession with Taylor Swift? I think even just the way that this is written is I'm shitting on your interests kind of thing. And I definitely don't think he should be doing this, at least the way that he's doing it. So it's kind of a 3-2 because it's you should have done it differently, but it's a definitely shouldn't be doing this specific lane of thing. There we go. We're going to take a little trip all the way up to Ascon 2. You don't have to understand it, dude. Just don't shit on it. What goes around comes around. And eventually you're going to find something that you really enjoy too. And if that starts getting shit on, you're not going to be happy about that.